Hello everyone, this is the video of effluent treatment processes. This will be presented by me, K Suraj, part A, and part B will be presented by my colleague Rasiti. In effluent treatment processes, we will be covering oxidative bound, anaerobic digestion and chemical disinfection. Where the part A will cover oxidative bond and part B will cover anaerobic digestion and chemical disinfection. Let's begin. This, as we know, is a conventional sewage treatment plant. Sewage is also a type of effluent. And here we are seeing, if we can identify, this is the primary sedimentation unit, this is the clarifiers, this is the tripling filters, and trickling filtration, disinfection unit, and it is aerobic digestion unit. Now, why do we need an effluent treatment plant? What is the significance of effluent treatment plant? To understand the significance of effluent treatment plant, we have to understand two things. What is an effluent and what environmental impact does an effluent has? So, effluents are the water runoff from domestic or industrial units. Based on the industry which we are talking about and the domestic source, the composition of effluent can differ. Where the effluent from house can be, example, grey water, tend to have high BOD, whereas in industrial you may have high COD concentration. Irrespective of the effluent, they have to undergo treatment so as to reduce the BOD and COD. Now, why do we have to reduce the BOD or COD? Because when this untreated effluent is discharged into freshwater ecosystem, they tend to increase the oxygen demand. This biologically degraded organic matter directly in the environment can cause unprecedented effects, some of which is the removal of oxygen from the water. Anoxic situation. The anoxic situation can cause huge death to the wildlife present in the freshwater. To conserve the freshwater ecosystem, we always undertake effluent treatment processes so as to prevent the anoxic condition in the freshwaters or any other discharge area. An effluent treatment plant can be divided into three separate units. One is primary treatment, secondary treatment, and tertiary treatment. The primary treatment consists of bar screens or any other physical sedimentation units, where the big particles such as clothes, paper, or any other suspended solids, plastics, they are separated out. Whereas in secondary treatment, we have anaerobic digestion or aerobic digestion tanks. This aerobic digestion simply uses the activated sludge to decrease the BOD. And whereas in tertiary, we have anaerobic digestion and the chemical disinfection. Based on the end use of whereas the incoming and the end use of the waste effluent, the processes are designed to cater for those needs. Sedimentation tank, secondary aeration unit, clarifiers, anaerobic digesters, disinfection tank, etc. This is the flow chart of Flowchart of effluent treatment processes, where you have the incoming water. There is the initial primary treatment, which consists of screening, utilization, and sedimentation of sedimentary particles. This is followed by secondary, where we have activated sludge, aeration lagoon, trickling filters, and anaerobic lagoon and stabilized basins. And in third, we have the chlorination, ozonation, ultrafiltration, carbon absorption, ion exchange, and sand filtration and denitrification. To understand the significance of these steps, we have to understand the effluent. For example, this is the effluent of a textile industry, where the textile industry has different processes such as sizing, desizing, scoring, bleaching, moisturizing, dyeing, printing, and finishing. Each of these processes has their own specific effluent, such as starch, waxes, carbon, cellulose, polyvinyl, surfactants, caustic soda, and dyes, gums, oil, mordants, etc. And as you can see, this induces high BOD and COD into the effluent. So, based on the effluent source, the effluent treatment plant will be designed such a way to counteract this situation and reduce the BOD and COD of the fresh water to acceptable levels. And tertiary treatment plant is mostly designed as per the requirement of the output. If the water is being funneled to as a domestic water use, then disinfection is taken off so as to remove pathogenic bacterial contamination. If it's being released into the nature or the freshwater bodies, then the nitrate levels are considered. Even within the nitrate level, they make sure that it's not too high, so that the denitrification lagoons are used. In part A, we will cover primary treatment as well as aeration tanks, secondary treatment. In part B, you will be going through the anaerobic digestion and chemical disinfection. So part A, primary treatment. As you can see, the effluent are coming in. The screen is removing any suspended solids with a grid chamber. For the grid chamber and sedimentation tanks, undertake removal of any suspended solids, and the effluent is released for primary clarifications or any other process. Now, what is this diagram shows you the oxidative digestion or the aeration lagoon system. In aeration lagoon, the process is quite simple. You have the mixture of wastewater and sludge. It comes into the aeration tank. You aerate it, and you have activated sludge, which is nothing but aerobic bacteria, fungi, and all the ecosystem of microbes, which digest the organic load and which gives you the water with the BOD. And this thing is sent into discharge to sedimentation tanks or secondary clarifiers. Here, the organic matter, which is in the waste effluent plus oxygen, is converted into bacterial waste, H2O, CO2, and heat. Here, the activated sludge treatment is taken by my colleague Rossity. So the function of aeration is oxidation by blowing air, which supports anaerobic bacteria. The Condella coinchnensis, Zoglia species, and Nitrospira species is used to stabilize and remove organic matter present in the waste. Trickling filtration and aeration beds are examples of secondary filtration involving microbes. Trickling filter uses its biofilm to capture the organic waste. So this is the secondary treatment plant or oxidative digestion. Now we will go through a case study of how the secondary treatment of grey water can be very usable in reducing the overall domestic waste. The paper name is Decentralized Light Grey Water Treatment using Aerobic Digestion and Hydrogen Peroxide Disinfection for Non-Potable Reuse. To understand this paper, first we have to understand the concept of grey water. What is grey water? Grey water is nothing but is an effluent which is filled with soap molecules or detergents and all those things, which is most common effluent from domestic sources. It consists of soap molecules which are nothing but which have polar head and fatty acid tail. This fatty acid tail, this gives us the BOD in the wastewater. So hence basic secondary treatment should be more than enough to contain the effluent or to digest into more environment friendly byproduct, as the grey water can increase the BOD of the water in wherever it is dumped. As we can see here, this is the different criterias or different compositions of grey water. pH is around 6, slightly acidic. Suspended solids are 81 mg per liter. COD is 445 mg per liter. POD is 349, and the E. coli bacterial load is 4.5 around. The total coliform is 1.1 10 to the power 8, and other microorganisms total 1.7 to the power 8. In this paper, the authors or researchers use different level of tension into an aeration tank, which was further underwent different loads of grey water, and this was further tested with H2O2, which was used as a disinfection. So the whole experiment setup consists of aeration tank where activated sludge was inoculated and used to digest the or break down the grey water soap molecules, and then the hydrogen peroxide was added as a disinfectant, and further the water quality was tested. As we can see, these graphs are the end product of the paper, where they have seen that the total COD and total suspended solids removal is efficient, is around more than 80% efficient when the water or the grey water was held in the aeration tank for more than 5 hours or 5 to 6 hours. The same goes to the ORL. Organic loading rate. Organic loading rate shows efficiency of removal when shows a very even efficiency of COD removal irrespective of the load. And this is a total coliform treatment after the fresh water which has been undergone aeration tank treatment and as well as H2O2. As you can see, there is a 2 log decrease of total microbial load. This study is successful in removing 88% to 60% TS, total suspended solids, and chemical peroxide demand respectively, with optimal operation setting determined to be 5 hours of HRT, which is hydraulic retention rate, and an organic loading rate of 2.6 gram per COD per liter. Disinfection by hydrogen peroxide managed to achieve 2 log removal, of the bacteria, although optimal hydrogen peroxide dosage concentration was not found in the study. Going forward, the anaerobic process as well as the chemical disinfection will be taken up by my colleague.